Hey S.A.G, it's Miss Angelo, and I am here to do a video for you on some of the topics that I already said you needed some extra help on. So the first thing I want to start with is multiplication. All right, so we're going to talk about a few strategies that we need to work for multiplication. So the goal is hopefully that you have all of your multiplication facts memorized, but that doesn't always happen. So there are some ways that we can deal with learning our multiplication or solving for a multiplication problem within a word problem so that we can still be successful. So let's say we have 6 times 7. All right. And let's say you don't know your 6s, you don't know your 7s. One of the things you can do is do a quick pick or draw it out. So I can have 6 groups with 7 each. So 6 groups with 7 each. So I can do 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I can add them, so I can do repeated addition. 6 plus 6, I know my doubles, so that's 12. And that would be 12, and that would be 12. And then this one would be 6. And so 12 plus 12 is 24. And 12 plus 6 is 18. 4 and 8, so 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Regroup my 1. 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 1 is 4. So I can solve for 6 times 7 equals 42. All right, so I can use repeated addition. I can make 6 groups of 7 and count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, so, and then I can count them. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. And so I can solve it that way. All right. So these are a couple of strategies where I can solve if I don't know my facts. I can also think, well, what facts do I know in my 6s? Because there are some that I do know. I obviously know 6 times 1. I know 6 times 2 because I know my doubles. But I'm real comfortable with my 5s because I can, even if I don't have them memorized, I can figure them out really quick. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So I can figure out that 6 times 5 is 30. And then I could add another 6, which makes 6 times 6, which is 36. And then I can add another 6, which makes 6 times 7, and that equals 42. So I can do repeated addition, I can do a quick pick, and I can start with a fact that I do know and work my way up so I'm not working all the way through that. Another thing that you may have to do is solve for an unknown. So let's say I have a word problem that says that Jean has 4 times as many cars as Marcus. Marcus has 24 cars. All right? How many cars does Jean have? So I have to solve for this unknown value. So I'm thinking, well, what times 4 equals 24? Maybe I don't know. And so I can do a quick pick where I would make 4 groups. And I would basically divide this out amongst the groups. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Now I have broken apart these 24 holes into the 4 groups, and that'll tell me what I'm multiplying times 4 to make 24, and there's 6 in the group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I can use this. I can also think, well, I know my doubles. I know 6 times 2, or I know my doubles, so I know 4 times 4 is 16. And then I just work my way up. If I add another 4, that's 4 times 5, and that equals 20. And if I add another 4, that equals 24, and that gives me 4 times 6. So I'm using the same strategy that I was using up here to get to what the answer should be. All right, so we had to work on multiplication strategies to solve for unknowns. So these are some different strategies: repeated addition, quick pick, thinking of those friendly facts that you know. So also in multiplication, we have to talk about strategy to solve multiplying bigger numbers. So let's say we have to do 586 times 3. Well, let me tell you, I don't know my 586 tables. I could use repeated addition to solve this particular problem, and since it's only 3, it might not be that bad. So I would just add 586 3 times. 6 plus 6 plus 6 is 18. Regroup my 1. 8 plus 8 plus 8 is 24, plus 1 is 25. And 5 plus 5 plus 5 is 15, plus 2 is 17. So I can solve it using repeated addition. But a more productive way to solve it is to use area model, or we call it distributive property. So what we do is we break apart your biggest number into place values. So I have 500, because that's what my place value is for my hundreds place. 80, that's my place value for my tens place, and 6. And then I multiply each of those by 3. So I distribute the 3 to all of those. And this is the way to use it with the box, and I'll show you without the box as well. So I write the multiplication fact inside so I don't make a mistake. So this is 500 times 3. This is 80 times 3. And this is 6 times 3. All right? And so 5 times 3 is 15, and I have 2 zeros. 8 times 3 is 24, and I have 1 0. And 6 times 3 is 18. Now, once I have my partial product, or my pieces, I then add them together to get my full product. So 1,500 plus 240 plus 18. That's 8. 4 plus 1 is 5. 5 plus 2 is 7. And 1 plus nothing is 1. So 1,756. Now, another way to write it, so using the same principle, is I break it apart. I break this number apart into my place values. So 500, 80, and 6. And then I just distribute the 3 to each one of these. So times 3, times 3. That way you don't have to draw out the box. If it helps keep you organized, please do it. But if not, you can do this. And then you just solve the same way. So this is 1,500, because this is mental math. 5 times 3, you should know that. 8 times 3 is 24, 1 0, and 6 times 3 is 18. And then you're at the same point where you're here, and you add them together. So this is a strategy for solving multiplication. All right. Another thing that we need to work on for iReady is division. So we want to work on dividing and using our friendly facts to help us. So let's say we have 54 divided by 9. All right. So I know I'm making friendly facts of my 9s tables. Well, I know 9 times 1 is 9. And I know 9 times 2 is 18. And even if I didn't know it, it's super easy and quick to figure out. I know 9 times 5 is 45. So I'm going to stick with those 3 because I know those 3. And the good thing about using your friendly facts to do division is you don't have to know all of your multiplication facts. So I'm looking at my totals, and I'm finding the biggest chunk that I can subtract out first. So that's going to be 45. And I write my multiplication fact, so that's 9 times 5, and I circle how many times I use the number 9. And then I subtract that. So I can't take 5 from 4, I have to regroup. This becomes 14, this becomes 4. 14 minus 5, well, that's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So it is 9. And 4 minus 4 is 0. And so now I have 9. I can subtract out 9. That's 9 times 1. 9 minus 9 is 0. And then what I do is I add all my circled numbers together to get my quotient. 5 plus 1 is 6. So 54 divided by 9 is equal to 6. And I'm able to solve it that way. Now you have to be able to solve bigger problems as well. So we're going to, let me get a new piece of paper. Actually, I'll turn it over. Let's do 4,286 divided by 7. All right, so I'm thinking about my sevens tables. What sevens do I know? I know 7 times 1. That's 7. I know 7 times 2. That's 14. I know 7 times 5. That's 35. I know 7 times 10. That's 70. And I also know, if I know these facts, I know my multiples of those. So I know 7 times 20 is 140. I know 7 times 50 is 350. I know 7 times 10 is 700. Which also means 7 times 200 is 1,400. 7 times 500 is 3,500. And 7 times 1,000 is 7,000. All right? So these are my facts. These are the ones that I knew, just these 4. And then these are the multiples of then, which means we're adding one place value 0 to the end. Now I'm going to look, and I want to pull out the biggest chunk that I can at first. I want to pull out the biggest pieces, so I'm subtracting a lot less. So I have 4,286. Well, I can pull out 3,500, so I want to start with that. Minus 3,500, which is 7 times 500. That means I'm using 500 times. Now let me go ahead and subtract. 6 minus 0 is 6. 8 minus 0 is 8. I can't take 5 from 2, so I have to regroup. 12 minus 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, so that's 7. And 3 minus 3 is 0. So now I have 786. Well, I can pull out 700. So let me do that. And that's 7 times, oops, that's 7 times 100. Sorry. 7 times 100. Circle that. So 6 minus 0 is 6. 8 minus 0 is 8. 7 minus 7 is 0. Now I have 86. Something close to 86. I have 70. Let me do that. And that's 7 times 10. 6 minus 0 is 6. 8 minus 7 is 1. All right, something close to 16. I have 14. That's 7 times 2. 6 minus 4 is 2. 1 minus 1 is 0. So my remainder is 2. And then to find my quotient, I'm going to add all of these times I use the number 7. So 500 plus 100 is 600. 600 plus 10 is 610. 610 plus 2 is 612. So my answer for 4,286 divided by 7 is 612, remainder 2. All right, let me give you a couple of practice problems for the last two things. So multiplication and division, practice problems for you, S.A.G. We have 49 divided by 7. 381 divided by 5. 8 times blank equals 72. And 5,249 times 3. All right, thanks for watching. Hope this video helps. We'll put up another one the next time we meet.